Now we're going to talk about PowerPoint, because that's the most widely used presentation medium. And my objective is to make PowerPoint less of a list of torture and more something that people enjoy. So, first of all, we're going to talk about text, because scientists misuse text a lot in their presentations. Now, I'm going to ask the folks in the back of the room, the back row, tell me what is the smallest font size that you can comfortably read. Not that you can read. This is not an eye test. What's comfortable? Typically, you don't want to go below 24 or 28. But you see all these presentations where people go down to 18, 14, and it's understandable because when you're sitting there in front of your screen and doing the presentation, you can see 18, you can see 14. But when you're in a venue and you go to 18 point, nobody can read your slides from the back of the room. The best thing you can do, though, is to keep all of your fonts larger than 28, all of the graphics large enough so that people in the back of the room can see them. So this is a test for everybody. What's the most readable fonts? Verdana? Sorry? Arial? Yeah. Yeah, these are all sans serif fonts. If you're reading from a print publication, serif fonts, that's with little points on the end, are perfectly fine. They give the eye more information about how to read the text. It's more readable. If you're talking about a low resolution medium, you have to use sans serif fonts. Certainly not script fonts like that. But use sans serif fonts. And I see a lot of serif fonts in presentations, and it's hard for the audiences to read them. Now, we're going to talk about being megatextual. Beyond just words to large amounts of text. Short text is great. See how that's easy for you to deal with? For talking points, reads quickly. Studies have shown that you want to use about 4 to 7 bullet points. If you get above 7 bullet points, you overwhelm the working memory of your audience's brains. Remember, perceptual and information processing machinery. But longer text creates a logical problem and a distraction. Logically, it is unnecessary for me to read this text to you because you're perfectly capable of reading it yourself, right? But what if I put text on the screen that's not what I'm saying? You're trying to read that text because it's important, or I wouldn't put it on the screen. You're trying to have me listen to me because what I'm saying is important, or I wouldn't be saying it. I just did something to you. I overwhelmed the language processing part of your brain. The same part of your brain processes spoken and written language. So that when you overwhelm that part of the brain, you create negative feelings in your audience. You turn them off. They're frustrated. They don't like to listen to you anymore because you've overwhelmed them. You've given them an unpleasant experience. It's as simple as memorable. Are you going to remember all that text that I just put on the screen, or are you going to remember those 3 words? Simple as memorable. It's hard for scientists to be simple. It's hard for them to have a limited amount of texts on the screen. It's just culturally difficult because you work in an area where you have to have a lot of text to explain what you do. It's simple, it's memorable. Short bullets. They make the slides friendlier. It's easy for you to jot down that and come back and listen to me, to what I have to say. It improves the pace of my presentation because I'm not dealing with a bunch of text on the screen that I have to deal with. I can emphasize my relationship to you. I can keep my rapport with you. It creates a little bit of suspense. You're not sure you know generally what I'm talking about. You got that idea. But you don't know what I'm going to say about it, so you tend to come back to me so that I can tell you what it is I mean. And finally, it enhances your preparation of your presentation because if you have a bunch of text on the screen, there's a lot of inertia. You have a lot of trouble changing it around, adding new ideas, and so forth. So if you have short bullets, they're easy to manipulate. Make sure your preparation more flexible. I advise using headlines, not labels. The newspaper headline has its form, but for a good reason. It wants you to know what the article is about. A headline on the slide does the same thing. It grabs your audience, tells the point of the slide, and it's heard and seen. There's crosstalk between your visual cortex and your auditory cortex. And if you hear and see something, it reinforces it. So this is a label. This is a headline. So do headlines, not labels.